Turn off the lights, keep your eyes on the screen, and whatever you do, do not look behind you. Piney Street was the kind of neighborhood where nothing bad ever happened. A dead-end road in rural Pennsylvania, white fences, trimmed lawns, and neighbors who waved to each other. But in 2009, Halloween night changed that forever. Yvonne Mayers, 17, was walking home from a party. He'd been drinking soda, laughing, talking about video games, nothing unusual, until he saw it. A figure standing perfectly still under a street light, tall, wearing a pumpkin mask with hollow, bent-out eyes. Even though it was a decoration, until the mask turned to face him. No movement of a body, just the mask, twisting unnaturally as if something inside was adjusting. He yelled out, "Nice costume, man." No response, only silence. Then a whisper. "Yvonne." He froze. No one should have known his name. When he ran, the air behind him grew colder, and he swore he heard footsteps following, just half of a second out of sync with his own. The next morning, neighbors found a single pumpkin mask at the intersection. Inside were teeth, human teeth, sharpened like needles. Forensics confirmed they didn't belong to Yvonne, who moved away 2 weeks later. But every Halloween Saints, residents of Pine Street report seeing the same tall figure, always under the same street light, always waiting. And when the light flickers, some say it smiles. I came across this story while working on a series about cursed media. It's known as the Lost Tape of Salem Hollow, and the footage still circulates in deep corners of the web. In 1996, 5 film students from Boston College set out to document the haunted woods near Salem Hollow, Massachusetts. They wanted to make a Halloween mockumentary, something fun, ironic, but what they captured was too real. Only one tape was ever recorded, labeled October 31 Final Cut. The footage begins like any student film, laughing, joking, fake scares, but halfway through, at timestamp, the camera starts recording on its own. No one is holding it. It pans towards the trees, slowly, as if following something unseen. A voice whispers from off-screen, "You shouldn't have come back." Police analyzed it, confirmed that voice didn't belong to any of 5 students. The next 10 seconds of footage show nothing but the ground. Leaves rustling, heavy breathing, and then a single frame. A figure made of shadow standing among the trees, arms outstretched. No bodies were ever found, but every Halloween hikers in those woods reported hearing the same faint whisper through the fog. There are urban legends about mirrors, that they are gateways or windows to another self. But in 2014, a Colorado teenager named Melissa found out what happens when the reflection looks back. Melissa live streamed a Halloween challenge called Name in the Mirror. The rules were simple: light a candle, say your full name 3 times into the mirror, and wait. At first, nothing happened. Then her viewers, over 200 of them, started commenting in panic. They saw something she didn't, a second reflection behind her, slightly out of sync. When Melissa smiled, it didn't. When she blinked, it stared. The stream glitched, the screen went black, and when police arrived, her room was cold. The candles still burning, but the mirror shattered from the inside. The stream ended at exactly 3:33 a.m. But a strange pattern was discovered on the shades of glass. A fingerprint, identical to hers, only reversed, as if pressed from the other side. Even now, viewers who watch that live say their phone cameras sometimes distort when they look into a mirror. Coincidence? Or did something from that night cross over? I once spoke with a paranormal investigator from Kentucky who told me this story on a shaking voice. He said it was the one case he'll never return to. Hollow Ridge Cemetery, founded 1842. Locals say his caretaker, Samuel, was buried there after dying on the job, but his lantern never went out. Every Halloween night, the living claim to see his light moving through the fog, always the same path, always ending at his own grave. In 2070, two investigators set up equipment, motion sensors, EMF readers, and the night vision cameras. At exactly 3:06 a.m., everything failed, except one camera, which captured a single still frame, the silhouette of a tall man in 19th century uniform carrying a lantern. Where his face should have been was a hollow black void. The file captured seconds later, replaced by a voice, "Leave the lights on." The next morning, the ground where his grave lay had been disturbed from the inside. One investigator quit the field. The other drowned himself a week later, leaving a note with two words: "He followed." Wexmere, England, a village swallowed by a fog, home to less than 1,500 people. When the Lauren family moved into their ancestral manor in 1978, they inherited an attic clock that hadn't ticked in decades. According to legend, it once belonged to a man accused of witchcraft. He was executed on Halloween night 1787. His final words: "When my time returns, so shall I." For weeks the clock remained silent. Its pendulum froze mid-swing, but on October 31, at exactly midnight, it began to chime 12 slow, thunderous strikes. The walls trembled. The family woke screaming. Then, silence. The next morning, their 7-year-old son was gone. No prints, no broken windows, just a clock, its hands frozen at 12:01. Experts examined it, but the gears inside were fast, melted from within, as if by extreme heat. No explanation ever surfaced. The clock was sealed in the Wexmere Historical Museum basement, but every Halloween the security guards report hearing it tick again. Only once, only at midnight. So tell me, Which story haunted you the most? Have you ever experienced something strange on Halloween night? Leave your story in comments. Maybe I'll read it next time. Until then, stay safe, keep your lights burning, and remember, some masks aren't meant to come off.